Oh my goodness. Good morning, good afternoon. Whatever it is for you, I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is Strong Opinion Sports, episode 646. Welcome in. Hope we're doing very well. Today, if you're watching on YouTube, I am in a very unique setting. I find myself in kind of a predicament, honestly. It's one of those situations where you committed to something a long time ago, and the time came, and you're like, oh, I really don't want to do that, but I should. I committed to it. It's the right thing to do. Bailing on someone when you made a commitment is like really crappy. I don't do that. I like helping people, and I am legitimately doing a good thing. I'm helping someone. I got this. Let me give you context. I'm gonna. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna talk about this. I gotta go on a rant right now. I gotta share my frustration, maybe is the right word. Frustration, I gotta just get it out. Okay, so when my brother died and my parents got divorced, my life was a mess. It was difficult. And I ended up basically getting adopted by my best friend's family. So I've got this like adopted family. And so my adopted brother is out of town. I'm house sitting for him. He's out of town for a very good cause. His girlfriend, who is just a rock star of a woman, is rowing from Monterey, California to Hawaii, which, if you don't know, is a really long way to row a boat. That's crazy, by the way. She's a rock star. She's really cool. And so basically the entire family is down in California. I'm the only one here. So there's no one to house sit. He's got a dog. Look, guys, I don't hate dogs. I really don't. But if I said it that way, I don't like dogs either. I'm not a big dog fan. He's got a husky. And this dog, look, honestly, it's a good dog. It's well behaved. It's very nice. Has no problems. I've left it for like far too long, honestly, alone. Hasn't had an accident in the house. It's been a very well behaved dog. It's not the dog's fault. I just don't like dogs very much. It's massive. It sheds. It will not leave me alone. It wants attention all the time. And I don't want to give it any attention. I'm like, dude, you're too close to me. I'm trying to eat dinner. And it's like, I just want to eat dinner without being worried about having the dog, like, steal my food. And I'm a cat person. I really am. I like small cats. They don't steal your food. They're cuddly. Honestly, cats often leave you alone, which I like about them, to be honest. I'm an introvert, man. And I'm a homebody. And I got off a plane last week from Hawaii after being in Hawaii for 10 days. And I went straight from the airport here to start house sitting. I haven't been home in well over 2 weeks. I miss my apartment. I miss my stuff. I miss having all my things. For example, I would just sit down to record just now, and I was like, oh yeah, remember when I didn't have my microphone stand in Hawaii? I still don't have it because I have everything from my plane trip. I'm telling you guys, I'm worn down. Also, no disrespect to my brother, as the dog walks. I don't know if you probably couldn't see the dog. The dog is right here, by the way, like right here next to me. He's very, very big, and he sheds hair like crazy. I hate cat hair. This is dog hair, excuse me. I don't like pet hair, period. And this is one of those houses where, like, I wear shoes all the time because there's so much, like, no matter what you do, it's the kind of house with this kind of animal that sheds like this. Like, there's just hair everywhere. It feels like an unending task you can't defeat. And what was I talking about? I hate this house. I hate this house so much. It's so dark, even with all the lights on. You can't see anything very well. I keep stubbing my toe. The shower's terrible. Like, it's one of those showers where it's a little bit clogged, but not fully. Like, you probably should snake it, but it does drain eventually, but it does fill with water while you're showering, which is terrible. The water does not consistently, it's like kind of just barely squirts in your face, and a lot of it sprays on the wall, and it's just, I don't love it here. I really want to go home. I miss my apartment. I miss sleeping every night next to my girlfriend. I'm not happy. I'm like, dude, I just want to go home. I got one more day here. We're doing a podcast here. I don't know if the dog's going to make a scene or not, but I'm here. I'm doing the podcast from my brother's house, and we're doing the best we can. I don't know. Welcome in. Hi, everyone. I just had to get it out. Like, attitude and effort is sometimes all you can control. I am helping him. He's seeing off his fiance. His fiance is going to be gone for, I mean, look, she's rowing from California to Hawaii. She could die, quite honestly. I hope she doesn't. I really like her. I hope he marries her. Like, she's great. Kind of the best thing that ever happened to him, honestly. So, yeah, I'm glad he's down there saying goodbye to her. Unfortunately, I am the one watching the house, and it's, I just want to go home. I really do. Anyway, welcome in. This is going to be kind of a weird show because I I've been traveling. I started a new job on Thursday. There's not much going on in the sports world. I literally have 3 notes about sports. Most of today's episode is going to be Patreon questions, which is actually good because we have such a backlog of Patreon questions I want to get through. I've got some ideas for a more detailed episode next week, or I guess today's Sunday morning. Now it's 4:30 in the morning on Sunday. So later this week, probably like Wednesday or Thursday, I'll sit down, do another episode of the show. And that'll be like a very, I think, thoughtful, in-depth episode. But today's kind of a mailbag. It's kind of a low-effort show. I'm going to answer some questions on Patreon. If you hate it, I am sorry. But I think it's actually, if you like me, we're going to have fun today. A lot of questions, a lot of stuff. I'm feeling really spicy, really on edge a little bit. I had a situation today. Like, here's an example of how I'm a bit on edge. I stopped briefly at my apartment. My girlfriend was there. I was like driving home from an event, and I was like, I'll stop at my apartment real quick, see her for a second. So I live on the 10th floor of my building. There's only 11 stories of my building. The 11th floor is a rooftop pool. So I'm on the 10th floor lobby. I am not in the elevator. I'm waiting for the elevator outside in the 10th floor lobby. And there's a guy next to me who hits the button to go up on the elevator. And I was like, dude, you're going up 1 floor on the elevator? I was like, what? There's a staircase right there. And I kind of bullied this guy. I was kind of like, what are you doing? Like, what? I said it probably in the worst tone ever. I was like, why are you not just walking up the stairs? And he got really embarrassed and kind of like went, oh, well, all right. Like, yeah, you're right. And he just like left and went up the stairs. And I realized, oh, was I just a total dick in that moment? I didn't mean to be. I was just tired. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm waiting for the elevator. You're going to take one of the elevators from me going up. Like, I was like, why are you just go down, go up a flight of stairs. It's 1 staircase. You can't do that. You're really going to ride the elevator up. So anyway, I accidentally bullied this guy into taking the stairs. I don't know, man. Welcome in. Seriously, I hope you're doing well. I want to let you know today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. The NBA Finals are here. Game Time makes getting playoff tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. They've got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets. It's a great way to buy NBA playoff tickets. It would be sick. In my honest opinion, going to an NBA Finals game would be so cool. Like a crowd in Boston. Are you kidding me? We got Boston, the Celtics against the Dallas Mavericks. It's been really, we got 1 game so far. It's really fun. Another game tonight, Sunday night. I think it would be sick to go to an NBA Finals game. To be honest, I live in the Northwest. I would probably use Game Time to go watch a Mariners game up in Seattle or get concert tickets. Game Time has last-minute deals where you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. They've got flash deals where you can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. There are zone deals where you can save even more when you choose a section of the venue and let Game Time choose the seats. There's all-in pricing where toggling this feature allows you to show the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout, so no hidden fees. And they've got seat views where in the app you can get a panoramic view of your seat in the app before you buy your ticket. There's a couple ways Game Time has your back. If you find tickets in the same section or row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. There's job loss assurance, so if you lose your job and need a refund, Game Time's got you covered, no questions asked. There is event cancellation protection, where there's an automatic full refund for events that are canceled and not rescheduled, and 24-hour returns guaranteed. So you can return your tickets within 24 hours from the time of purchase for a full credit to your Game Time account. No questions asked. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Thank you to Game Time. We got one more sponsor today. This episode is also brought to you by Factor. Factor Meal Kits is offering 50% off to listeners of the show. Head to factormeals.com/SOS50 and use code SOS50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box. So that's a lot of percentages off of getting a Factor Meal Kits box. That is code SOS50 at factormeals.com/SOS50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box while your subscription is active. If you don't know, Factor Meal Kits is a meal kit service. They send you ready-to-eat meals. They're easy to prepare. For me, they showed up in a box. You put the meal kits in the fridge. When you want food, you go to the fridge. By the way, they show up cold with really high-quality ice packs. I really like that feature. But what you put the food in the fridge. When you want to, you go to the fridge, you pick up the food, you heat it up in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe in the microwave. You've got a restaurant-quality meal ready to go. There's never frozen high-quality ingredients. And compared to all the other options you have in front of you for a quick and easy meal, I would say, by far, Factor is the best. Like, for real. Going to, I don't want to say a competitor's name, but think of the other ways you could get food quickly. Fast food places, delivery services, they're expensive, they're bad for you. This is cheap, so it's affordable, and it's good for you. And there are so many different ways you can customize your order. Maybe you're on a diet, maybe you're trying to cut calories. There are low-calorie options. Factor can meet you where you want to be. You can customize your order however you want. Calorie smart options, keto, protein plus, vegan or veggie. Maybe you just want a good meal that doesn't take 30 minutes to an hour to prepare out of your life. Like for me, I've been really busy. I've been doing a lot of things, and Factor has been a really valuable thing for me to go to my fridge, have a really good meal waiting for me. You pull it out, you put it in the microwave, 2-3 minutes later, I've got a restaurant quality meal ready to go. It saved me a lot of time. It's also cheaper for you and better for you, again, than the other options that you could have for a quick and easy meal. You've got 50% off with the code SOS50. And guys, compared to takeout or delivery, the prices on that are insanely in favor of Factor. Again, if you want a high-quality meal, go to factormeals.com/SOS50 and use code SOS50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next box. That is code SOS50 at factormeals.com/SOS50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next box. Again, I love Factor. They are great. I love you. I appreciate you. I want to talk today. There's like 3 things very briefly. It's been a very, very slow time in the football world. Basically, people are making stuff up. They're coming up with all kinds of nonsense where it's June. Like there's nothing happening in June. It's NBA Finals. We don't even have Hard Knocks to talk about, like the off-season version yet. We're a month away from that. So there's nothing really going on. We did get Minnesota Vikings all-white uniforms. They are beautiful. Guys, if you haven't seen the Vikings' new all-white uniforms, they're just cool. I like that the NFL is starting to really get, what's the word? Like, they're starting to allow NFL teams to customize and have a lot of fun with their uniforms and put together some really fun uniform combinations, which I love. There's multiple helmets now. There's all kinds of cool stuff. The Vikings all-white uniforms are another example of like, oh, cool. The NFL is getting a little more fun. It's getting a little more easygoing and allowing us to have a little more cool stuff to look at when we watch an NFL game. I love it. I think it's cool. I love the Vikings do all-white uniforms. If you haven't seen them, I highly recommend you go check them out. Now, that being said, let's say another thing about the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have signed wide receiver Justin Jefferson to a record-breaking deal. 4 years, $140 million contract extension, $110 million guaranteed. He is the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Justin Jefferson, again, NFL wide receiver. $88 million due at signing. That is the highest non-quarterback guaranteed money at signing in NFL history. Here's the lesson here, guys. A couple things. First of all, growing up, playing football, play quarterback or play receiver. Don't play defense. I mean, look, if you're not going to get on the field, switch positions. But if you can play receiver, dude. Don't play running back. Quarterback and receiver are the 2 positions right now that are getting paid absurd money. It's very cool. Good for Justin Jefferson. I'm very happy for him. I think he's actually deserving. He's like a really, really unbelievably talented wide receiver. And the benefit of, you remember, the Vikings let Kirk Cousins walk away from their franchise. They brought in a rookie quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. What that means is they can afford to pay Justin Jefferson a ton of money because they're paying their rookie quarterback a much, much less significant amount of money compared to other NFL quarterbacks around the league. I do have concerns. Look, anytime you pay a player this much money, you have to kind of mention it's a team sport. You're paying this guy a monumental percentage of your salary cap. It could be a problem down the road. I mean, anytime you sign a player to this much money, you create a conversation where you're going, does he bring enough value to justify the price? And is there going to be a conversation in the future where we're paying Justin Jefferson so much and we can't afford to pay other people, right? You pick and choose your battles. Justin Jefferson's incredible. Again, it helps they've got a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract right now. But it's I understand the conversation. I think Justin Jefferson is a huge part of why I'm confident J.J. McCarthy, the rookie quarterback, is going to succeed. I think it's worth every penny. I got no problem with the contract. I just want to say it's a ton of money. It really is like, wow. It's a staggeringly large amount of money to pay a wide receiver. And again, I want to see 4 years from now, are we going to go, this contract is becoming a problem for the Vikings. It's like, are we going to be talking about how they don't have money to spend on other positions and other players they need to help their team? I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, I don't know if anyone's watching. I just caught a fly in my hand. Now I have it in my hand. I don't know what to do. I don't really want to open my hand. I certainly didn't kill it. It's probably just in my hand. But I did just catch a fly in my hand, and now I'm going to have to hold it for like another hour. So yeah, Justin Jefferson signed a massive contract extension. Cool. I mean, it's kind of, for me, it's not the most exciting thing to talk about. It's like, oh yeah, great. He's really rich again. Or now more really rich than he already was. The fly's gone. I don't know where it went. I opened my hand, the fly was gone. Another situation we have to talk about contract-wise, the Browns gave their coach, Kevin Stefanski, and their general manager, Andrew Berry, contract extensions. It's the first Browns head coach to win a playoff game in forever, so I've got no problem with it at all. I would imagine there are people going, oh, I think I'd like literally one of the comments on it said, on the post about this, the announcement, said that, well, Kevin Stefanski has won more Coach of the Year awards than playoff games, and that's fair. And I don't love their quarterback situation. I don't know what the future of the Browns is, but certainly I think we can all agree Kevin Stefanski, no matter how you feel about him, he's the best head coach the Browns have had maybe ever, at least in my lifetime. I don't mind them giving him a contract extension. Andrew Berry's done a great job. I'm all for it. I'm fine with it. I got no problems. They're re-signed for more time. They got a new extension. I love it. All right. Well, we did the ads. We complained about house sitting. And we talked about football a little bit. Now let's have some fun. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. Patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. It is $1 a month. What does $1 a month get you? And by the way, here's why it's $1 a month. The way I use Patreon is it's a filter. It allows me to connect with the people that are most engaged with the show. $1 a month is such a small amount of money. I can't imagine anyone who can't afford that. But it gives you an opportunity. If you submit money on Patreon, the $1 a month gives you access to submit questions on Patreon. Now, you can donate more money if you want to. Please do. I'm in the process of trying to hire people. I've got a couple people in mind. My friend Austin. My friend Logan. You might know Logan if you're on the Strong Opinion Sports Discord channel. He's actually the moderator of that. Logan's awesome. I want to hire Logan. I've talked to Logan about it. I don't know if he knows that I'm still trying to hire him. It's been a couple months. Maybe he thinks I forgot about him. I didn't forget about you, Logan. I want you still on the team. And then my friend Nathan, who has worked for Adidas Football, closely with Patrick Mahomes, actually, literally hung out with Patrick Mahomes. He now works for 2K Sports, doing promotion with them, working with NBA athletes. So the three people I just mentioned, Logan, Austin, and Nathan, are three people I want to bring on and really make Strong Opinion Sports into more of a collaborative effort with I have so many ideas for the show, and now that I've got a really good job away from Strong Opinion Sports, SOS has become kind of a thing I can experiment with and have fun with and do, I think, really high quality stuff. I'm making more money than ever because of my other job, and I got more time than ever. So now I've got time to really invest into the show and do some good stuff. That is where I'm headed with the show. So again, That is why, if you want to support me on Patreon for more money, it helps me give those people a cut and bring on more help and make the show better. But $1 a month gives you access to submit questions on Patreon. There will always be that dollar tier because, again, for me, it's just the best way to filter out comments. It's $1. It's $12 a year. You submit it on Patreon, and then it allows you to very easily comment and write in posts on Patreon and really participate in the show. So that's the current Patreon structure. That's kind of the future of the show and the future of this company, I guess, Strong Opinion Sports, where we're headed. I want to hire help. I want to make it a bigger thing. And Patreon's a part of that process. So kind of letting you guys in on the back end stuff behind the scenes. I want to add people. And I really, really feel strongly that the $1 a month is not prohibitive. It's such a small amount of money that all it does is if you want to pay me $1 and send me really crappy comments, I'll take your money. But I think what it does is really weed out the people that are not invested and just find the people that really care the most about the show, and allow them to participate. I love it. I think it's fun. It's really cool. I'm very proud of what's going on. I love our community. I think it's actually, Devin once wrote in on Patreon, and very recently, like, what's your favorite moment of the show? And my favorite thing about this show is the community. It's the people I've met. It's the road trips I've gone on and the people I've interacted with. And I watched the Super Bowl with Sanders one time, a fan of the show. And I met so many people on my road trip. And I get messages all the time from people. And I really try to have genuine, real connections with the people in the audience. So that's what I love about the show. And that is my thoughts on Patreon. Guys, it's $1 a month. I don't want to promote it any further, but that's just kind of an open little conversation about what's going on there. The first write-in today is, in fact, from Devin. And before I read Devin's question, I realized something. I left the HVAC system on in this house. I'm going to turn it off real quick because the vents are right above me. And when the air does kick on, it's going to make a really loud noise. I don't want it to blow on me in the microphone, so I'm going to turn it off. I'll be right back with Devin's question. All right, we're back. My brother has an Ecobee thermostat. Remember, I'm HVAC Zach. I work in the HVAC field as a salesman / estimator. I build quotes. I design systems. It's very fun. He's got an Ecobee thermostat, which they're fine. The worst thermostat in the world is the Google Nest. I absolutely fucking hate. I hate the Google Nest thermostat. It's terrible. They break all the time. There's all these problems. As a guy who's worked on a lot of HVAC systems in his life, do not buy the Nest thermostat. They're awful. They promise a lot of things and they don't work. And I hate that. Like, my company has a policy. We literally will not sell them to you. We're like, you can buy it. We'll do it. We'll install it for you, but we are not going to sell it to you. Like, we don't fuck with those at all. Anyway, Devin writes in on Patreon. Devin says, "Howdy, Big Mac Zach." I like that a lot. A good Big Mac, by the way. Pretty good. Devin says, "Here's a wildly important question. You use a Shure MV7 microphone. For those who don't know, you can either record audio from that microphone to an audio interface using an XLR cable, or record to an audio program on a computer using a USB cable. Let me show you. If you're watching on YouTube, the back of the microphone has two different wires going into it. One is XLR, the big one. The small one is a USB micro connection." Devin continues saying, "I noticed you use both when recording. Which audio are we hearing when we're listening to your show? Audio interface or computer audio? And this won't happen, but is it crazy to say Justin Fields should start week 1? As always, I look forward to the next show, Devin." We'll talk about Justin Fields in a moment. First of all, let me tell you why it's clunky. I'm not going to lie to you. This setup, having two wires in my hand, holding it, very soon I'll be back in my apartment and have a stand again to put the microphone and not have to deal with holding it and have all these wires everywhere. But if you remember, like 4 episodes ago, I recorded Strong Opinion Sports, and for some reason, my audio interface did not record the audio. And I lost everything. I had to re-record an entire hour-and-a-half podcast. Same material, just a second time. And I hated doing that. It was like a total waste of time, a waste of effort. It was very disappointing. Like, in my current setup, I move in a week from yesterday. So 6 days from now, I move into a new apartment where I'm going to have a dedicated recording studio again, which means I can leave my setup up permanently, not have to. But currently, I record in my living room. And every time I want to record a podcast, I got to set up the microphone, the camera, like literally move my desk like 10 feet over, like around a thing in front of my couch. It's a whole ordeal. It sucks. So to do all that process and then lose all the audio was just a horrifying, really sad thing. So now I refuse to record without a backup set of audio as much as I can, right? If I'm on the road in a hotel room, whatever situation, there's got to be a situation someday where I can't record with both. But as long as I can record with both, I will, because it just makes sense to have a backup audio form. In case that ever happens again, I lose all the audio, I've got the second audio backup recording. You are hearing the audio interface audio. Although, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. The USB is basically the same. I mean, it really does sound incredible. I'm so shocked. What I love about this microphone, the MV7, is that most microphones that are USB microphones sound horrifyingly bad. It's terrible. This one, when you literally can't tell. In fact, what I'm going to do, I just switched it. As I was talking, I ended up, I'm gonna make a thing. I'm gonna have fun with this. I switched the audio just now, and you probably didn't even notice. If you did, great, congratulations. If you didn't, I'm not shocked at all. So I'm going to be switching throughout this specific comment, the audio back and forth between so now we're back to XLR. You hear XLR? It sounds good, doesn't it? Woo, woo. You hear my voice, my deep, rich, nice voice. Now we're back to USB. Does it sound different? How different does it sound? Let me know. It's going to be a pain to edit this, but I'll do it. I will do it. I don't care. Fine. Screw it. Whatever. We'll do the work of making this happen. And it sounds about the same. It's a little different, I guess, but it's basically the same quality. And it's impressively good for USB audio, which is traditionally absolutely awful. By the way, the cat just took the biggest dump of its life. And the cat box is also next to me. It smells terrible in this room. Guys, someone rescue me. I want to go home. I miss my apartment. I miss my girlfriend. I haven't slept in my bed in so long. I just want to go home. Please, please. I made this commitment. I got to honor it. So Devin, you said, is it crazy to say Justin Fields should start week 1? Yes, it is. That's stupid. It would be an unforced error. You don't gain anything by starting Justin Fields week 1. I think you start Russell Wilson. You see how it goes. If he's bad, then you can switch to Justin anytime. But Justin being the backup behind Russell Wilson is a really good thing. It's an opportunity for him to learn. Even if Russell Wilson's bad, you can sit, you can learn, you can grow. You just should not be in a hurry with this situation with Justin Fields. The more time he sits and learns, the better. I just don't see any benefit to rushing Justin Fields onto the field. Hilarious, because his last name is Fields. But I just there's no benefit to making Justin Fields your week 1 starter. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not a team that's a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. Actually, to be honest, maybe they could be. Maybe like week 4, Russell Wilson's bad, they bench him, Justin Fields comes in and kicks ass and is incredible. But to me, going immediately to Justin Fields and not even giving Russell Wilson a shot, and also keeping that opportunity where Justin Fields can sit and learn from Russell Wilson, removing that opportunity is just an unforced error, in my opinion. I would not do that. Justin Fields should not be the week 1 starter, no matter what, basically, almost on principle, in Pittsburgh. Davis writes in, says, Zach, AR5 and Shane going to bring Indy a Super Bowl in 1 to 2 years. That's my crazy fan point of view. I like that you at least know it's crazy. That'd be cool, by the way. I love Anthony Richardson. Now, for my question, Davis continues. 2 years ago, the AFC South was the joke of the division, with Tennessee being the only loved-on team. Well, the tides have changed, obviously, with the Texans getting a better QB1 than Deshaun Watson ever was going to be. The Colts found a freak of nature, Anthony Richardson at quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars are being fun at times, but screw Tennessee. I hate him. Okay, so Davis hates Tennessee. I wonder why he hates Tennessee, but he's kind of got some positive things to say about Jacksonville and Houston. That's interesting to me. Anyway, now, this year's pity division is the NFC South. Do you see the same change with the division in the AFC South that they had or not? The situation in the NFC South is weird. 3 teams have guys they like. Baker with Tampa, Bryce Young in Carolina, and Kirk and Michael Penix in Atlanta. Are these all guys that will change their franchise, or is this a division set to roast in the flames of damnation for a few more years? Let's be very clear, first of all. It's the Falcons' division to lose. The Falcons are the best team in that division. They should win. I've got no faith in Derek Carr. Bryce Young's got a lot to work on. He's learning. He's growing. He's got a new coach. Carolina, they're so far from success in my opinion. I mean, I'm open. It'd be great. If Carolina came out week 1 and was incredible and they won a bunch of games, I'd be so happy for them. But I think they got progress to be made that they need to work on. And then with Tampa, I like Baker a lot. He's very solid. He's like the 10th or 12th best quarterback in the league, and that's good. He's a good starter. He's reliable. You trust him. He's loved in the building. But Tampa's rebuilding, man. They lost a bunch of starters. They couldn't pay everyone. They're an aging veteran team anyway. So it's I guess the long answer. I don't know if it's exactly what you're asking, but for me, it's Atlanta's division to lose. Atlanta's got 2 good quarterbacks. They've got Kirk Cousins. He's very much a proven winner, in my opinion. His numbers are better than Matthew Stafford, actually. Like he's a really, really good quarterback. And I really believe in him. I believe in the coaching staff. Raheem Morris is great. They've got great pieces, really good players in Atlanta. They're the best team by far, and they're the team to beat in that division. If they don't win that division, Atlanta has really screwed something up, in my opinion. They'd have big problems if they somehow don't win the division this year. Maximilian writes in, says, "Hi, HVAC Zach." I love that. I love when people write. That's my favorite nickname. It's my favorite salutation. I love it. In fact, I'll read it one more time. Maximilian says, "Hi, HVAC Zach. Last week, you posted a story on Instagram from the beach. I noticed the salt and vinegar chips and was immediately taken back about 3 years ago to a holiday my girlfriend and I had in Cyprus, where we tasted that flavor for the first time." Cyprus. Where do you live, Maximilian? That's very cool, by the way. Cyprus. Is that, that's Cyprus. Is that a Greek island? Cyprus. Come on. Country? Is it a country? Is it a country or just an island? The Republic of Cyprus is an island in the country, is an island country in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea. But I think it's like split in half, isn't it? There's like a war there or something. It's, if Google Maps will load. Sorry, I'm derailing this entirely, but I'm curious. I can't believe you went to Cyprus. That's so cool. Maximilian, it's not loading, so we'll continue your question. So you're in Cyprus, having salt and vinegar chips for the first time. Back then, salt and vinegar seemed like an odd flavor for chips, but now it's our favorite. To this day, I'm not sure if those chips were truly the best compared to what we can get back home or if it was something else. Do you have a snack that was so good in the moment that it will always top that kind of snack, like those chips topping other chips since then? So you're saying, is there a snack that stood out to me so much I go, oh, that's so much better than anything I've ever had? Yes, it's actually the salt and vinegar flavor again. So my favorite chips are salt and vinegar chips. Let's be very clear about that. The only chip I will really ever get other than that, I get the dill pickle chips. Those are incredible. Pepperoncini chips are also really good. The Kettle brand. But salt and vinegar chips are my favorite by far. Now, in Hawaii, where I used to live, I was just there. There's a place called Foodland Farms. It is the best grocery store deli you'll ever have in your entire life. It's like Whole Foods and Zupan's had a baby. Zupan's is like a bougie, it's like gold-plated cookies. I mean, it's ridiculous like how expensive Zupan's is. But it's like if Zupan's, this great, expensive, bougie Whole Foods style grocery store, and Whole Foods themselves had a baby, you would get Foodland Farms. Foodland Farms makes salt and vinegar chicken wings. You guys, when I tell you I've eaten more of these wings in my life, I mean, it's insane how many. So I go to the beach and I'd get a pound on dates, right? Took my girlfriend there a week and a half ago. We went and got a pound and a half of salt and vinegar wings, and it was still not enough. They're so good. I don't know where to find salt and vinegar wings anywhere else in the world. Like, I've never seen them. I don't know if it's a thing. I have no idea. But man, every time I'm in Honolulu. I get salt and vinegar wings multiple times a trip. They're so damn good. They're really the best wings I've ever had in my entire life. It's ironic. It's also that flavor of salt and vinegar, but seriously, if you're ever in Honolulu, walk into Foodland Farms. It's in Ala Moana Mall. It's right by the beach. You can walk there from Waikiki. It's a bit of a walk, but you can walk there. Go to the deli and order a pound, maybe more, of the salt and vinegar wings. It's the best recommendation from a guy who lived in Hawaii for 2 years. Holy shit. They are so good. The best wings you'll ever have in your entire life. For real. They're so good. They're perfect. They're not oversweetened. I like some hot buffalo wings, but sometimes they're too much. They're not comfortable to eat. They're a little spicy, a little hot. And then the honey barbecue is good, like the basic one. Salt and vinegar is just the perfect amount of it's simple. It's good. You can eat it, but there's some kick. I can't say enough good things about salt and vinegar wings. It is by far the best chicken wings I've ever had in my entire life, and I don't know where to find them other than specifically Foodland Farms in Hawaii. So if I see them ever again, I'll try them. But you said, do you have a snack that was so good in the moment that it will always top that kind of snack? Yes. I've never had better wings in my life than the salt and vinegar wings from Foodland Farms. Joe writes in and says, hey, HVAC quarterback Zach. Ooh, that was fun. I like that one. Your boy did it. I'm now living minutes from the ocean, and my life is completely different. I'm gone from living in a stuffy Spokane apartment to a house in Long Beach, Washington. And you mentioned in my last write-in that I should try to find connections here. Funny enough, apart from why I moved here, okay, I got to back this up. He says, funny enough, a part of why I moved here to Long Beach, Washington, is because I have far more connections here than in Spokane. I got lonely and needed a change. I currently pay no rent, work in the trades, and I'm going to be able to save up a ton of money. I can surf whenever I want, and I'm surrounded by a ton of friends and people that love me. So my question to you is, what was your biggest life home run, where you made a decision and it worked out for the best and more? Sorry for the long write-in. Thanks to your face balls for reading this. All the love in the world, bro. Joe, by the way, the number one beach for me, the beach I go to the most on the planet, is Long Beach, Washington. So we're going to have to meet. In fact, I'm planning a beach trip in 3 weeks to Long Beach, Washington. What would that be, June 29th? Dude, Saturday, June 29th. Let's get lunch. You can meet my girlfriend. We can park my truck on the beach and hang out. I think that would be. Do you guys understand how cool that is, by the way? But I think the fact that I can do a show with people that I potentially meet in real life is so sick. Like I talk people that I follow the Patreon are people I meet in real life. I just think that's the coolest thing ever. I love that so much. I really do. And Joe, for real, we've been talking about meeting. My grandma lives near Spokane. I never made it up there while you were there. I'm going to go to Long Beach in like 3 weeks. We have to connect. And if we don't connect on that trip, like maybe you're busy, I go to Long Beach all the time. That's my home beach. It's an hour from where I live. That's the beach I go to because it's only one nearby you can like drive on and have a good time. It's like super long. It's like 28 miles long. Joe, look at me in the eyes. If you're watching on YouTube, Joe, let's meet. It'd be so cool. I would love that. Hell yeah. Anyway, you asked, what was your biggest life home run where you made a decision and it worked out for the best and more? Moving back from Hawaii the second time, actually, I was working as a plumber. Life was pretty good. But my old manager, I worked in HVAC installing for a long time. And then I left to go back to Honolulu and be a plumber. Well, the guy who trained me and hired me ended up buying the company, Able Heating and Cooling. I love him so much. My boss, Javier, he treats people really well. He treats me well. He treats customers well. I've seen so many moments where he's gone out of his way to help people. And so he offered me a job, and I was living in Hawaii, and I was like, you know what? This is it's a life-changing opportunity, and I took it. It's a great job. I love where I work. I love my people. I ended up meeting my girlfriend, who is really the best thing that ever happened to me. So I guess the thing you're saying, for me, like the best decision I've ever made was to, on January 3rd, 2024, I moved back to Portland, Oregon from Honolulu, Hawaii, which it was difficult because I dreamed my whole life of living in Honolulu. I love Hawaii so much. It's where I feel like I'm home. When I go back there visiting, it feels like I'm visiting my hometown for real. But my life is so good right now. I've got a great apartment. I'm going to marry my girlfriend. I know it's very early. It's June. I met her, when I got back. So it's not been super long, but her mom loves me. It's just, when you know, it's right. I've never met someone like her. She's just like, I saw her pulse is like 10 all the time. She's so chill and relaxed in very stressful situations, by the way. Like the moments where you're like, you should be stressed. She's like, take a deep breath. Like she's calming me down. She's like, Zach, we'll be okay. Like taking a deep breath. Like she's like so easygoing. It's crazy. And fucking gorgeous, man. Oh my gosh. So, coming back to the Northwest, leaving Hawaii actually, which was a thing I wrestled with. It was very hard for me to do given how much I love Hawaii. Best thing I've ever done. I got a great job. I'm well taken care of. I love what I do every day. I love my family. I'm nearby them. I live somewhere great. I've got the best partner I could ever ask for. Like literally every box is met, and things I never thought I could have, I actually have in this relationship. So, Joe, that's the answer. Coming back to, I don't know if you, I think it shows when you watch me on the show. I think if you followed Strong Opinion Sports for the last couple of years, you can tell my life is good. Like I'm really doing well. I'm happy. I'm fulfilled. My needs are met. Like I really am doing the best I've ever done ever. And that's because I decided to leave Honolulu. And ever since then, my job is great. My partner's great. My family's nearby. I live in a great situation. I'm just really happy and really like I'm killing it. Life is awesome right now. And seems like it's going to be probably for the foreseeable future, forever. Like my boss just bought me a plane ticket for a convention in November. So like he's not planning on firing me anytime soon. I've got security. I'm really like, things are good. I'm very happy. So Joe, that's the answer. Coming back to the Northwest was the best thing I could have ever done for me, for my career, for myself, for my mental health, for everything. And it's been outstanding. Adam writes in. Adam says, how's it going, Zach Black? It's like a Jack Black reference. I like that. You talked about your dad having a brewery. And as someone who has been wanting to make their own beer, I was just wondering, how long has he been doing this? Has he always worked with beer? Is this a newer passion that turned into a business or a culmination of lifelong experience? Just curious and always interested in any information to fuel my similar dream. And also, I would pay any amount of money a month to watch your Jameis Winston travel show. Sounds like a surefire hit. Dude, I'm telling you, I really need to reach out to him. I bet I could get in his ear a little bit. Maybe when he retires. I don't know. I got the Jameis Winston. Really, so the Jameis Winston travel show is a good idea. I also think me traveling would be a good show. I think I could just travel and have fun. I think I really should film myself. It's so dumb. I did an 8-month road trip in my truck, and I filmed one video. It ended with a really horrific thing happening to me that really ended my trip, quite frankly. Like I was crying, and I was like, well, I can't make a video about this. This is just awful. So I just ended up stopping everything. And it was, I've never really talked about it publicly. It's very traumatic and horrible. So, like I want to do over. I want to make videos where I travel. I really have a plan that I think, again, I'm heading into a new phase of my life and have time, energy, and money to do that kind of stuff. That'd be really fun. Like making videos where me and my girlfriend travel. She's like hilarious, and she'd be good, filming me actually, because I need someone to point the camera at me, quite frankly. And she loves that idea. So, would you guys want to watch me, like videos of me and my girlfriend traveling to cool places, like maybe staying in my truck, maybe going even farther away on plane rides and stuff? I think that'd be really fun. Like traveling the country, having a little partner to help me with everything, and meeting people would be so fun. I think that's content that would be really worth watching, like for sure. So anyway, so let's talk about my dad. So my dad is a beer writer. When Guy Fieri came to town, my dad hung out with Guy Fieri and like showed him around. So when Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dive came to Portland, my dad was one of the guys on the show. My dad is He's a food guy, man. He's a foodie. He writes about food. He's written multiple books. He wrote a book called Portland Beer Stories. So he knows beer really well. You said the word culmination, which is hilarious. You said, is this a newer passion that turned into a business or a culmination of lifelong experience? It's a culmination of lifelong experience, but my dad is a general manager of Culmination Brewing. They called my dad to be their general manager because they were failing financially. They said they were just losing money like crazy. And they were like, Steven, my dad, they're like, can you save us? And so every time I see my dad, I saw him yesterday, I go, how's the brewery going? He goes, well, we're not dead yet, right? He's never doing well. I mean, they're trying to make it happen, but he's taken them, I think they're close to being profitable again, but they were in the hole like $187,000, something crazy like that. And I don't know if that's private information or not. If it is, I'm sorry. Whatever. He's saving the brewery, right? He's really trying hard to get this brewery back to life. And every time I see him, his answer is basically, we're not dead yet. And it's been months of that. So they're not dead and they're still not dead and they haven't been dead yet at all. So he's slowly making progress. But my dad has not run breweries before. That's not his thing. He knows beer very well though. And my dad is a smart dude. Say what you want about my dad. My dad, it's unfortunate. He had a really horrible childhood. He didn't get a college degree. My dad would have been like, if my dad had a college degree, he would have been like the best doctor in Portland. Like he would have been whatever he wanted. He really is like very, very smart. I really believe in him. He can figure anything out, and he's figuring out this brewery and really fixing stuff. He's no nonsense. He's a good leader, in my opinion. I'm biased, but I see how he interacts with people that work for him, and he's great. He's got his own people he's hired, and he's really turning things around. So that's the story. Adam, here's something my dad has offered to me. My dad, my good friend of mine, Tristan, he's an electrician. He went to college for brewing, like beer, and then ended up becoming an electrician. But he loves beer, and he was like, bring Tristan over. Like, let's give Tristan a tour of the brewery. And he's given me tours of the brewery. He gave me and my girlfriend a tour. Like, my dad loves showing people around the brewery. Adam, if you come to Portland, I'm not fucking around. Guaranteed I can get you a tour of the brewery where he shows you the process a little bit, have a little fun. It'd be very cool. I think you'd have a good time. If you're into brewing, you'd have a great time doing that. That's a real offer. Like, if you come to Portland, I can make that happen. Reach out to me. You got to come before the brewery shuts down. I don't know how long he's trying to save it. And if it shuts down before you come, then I can't do anything about that. But if the brewery's around, I can show you around the brewery. It'd be very cool. My dad he's an enigma. I don't know what to make of him. He's had a hard life, and he's doing the best he can. And anyway, I'm very proud of him. Justin writes in. Justin said, yo, what's up, HVAC Zach? Slightly different question than the ones I usually ask, but I'm still curious nonetheless. I launched my own podcast recently, and while I have experience in audio production, so recording and editing the podcast wasn't too difficult, I found myself being quite overwhelmed with the distribution of the podcast on all of the different platforms. Like, what the fuck is an RSS feed? I also do not understand why Apple Podcasts makes their formatting so difficult. HVAC Zach, do you have any stories or of difficulties you faced when producing your show during the early days? Or do you currently face any issues with producing your show that maybe don't get talked about too often, and maybe you'd like to rant about for a few moments? I'm curious because we don't typically get a behind-the-scenes look at the making of your show. Thanks, your hopeful Panthers fan from Texas. So you got to find a host. That's the thing that irritated me about making a podcast. You have to put it somewhere. You can't post it directly to Apple. You can't post it directly to Spotify. You got to find a third-party platform, basically, to host it, where you create a thing called an RSS feed, and then from where the hosting website or the hosting platform that creates RSS feed for you, they send it off to the other places, the Spotifys, the Google Plays, the iTunes, the whatever. I used Libsyn for a long time, and that's what I would recommend for you, actually, Justin. Use Libsyn to host your podcast. They're great. I use Megaphone, and Megaphone is better. But Megaphone, you only get access to if you've got a big business account behind you. I only have access to Megaphone because I'm part of a network, CLNS Media Network. They're great. It's a very lax partnership. Like they don't have any control over me. They don't own the show. Like they really just said, hey, you can make money from us, so we can make money off of you because we can sell ads for you, and you'll get a cut of the ads. And I was like, sure. Like we all benefit here. They have no ownership over me. They're very nice. I really trust them. I really like them. I worked for them for a long time. They're genuinely good people. They were such good people that when I took 6 months off the show, I went into HVAC. I thought I was done forever with the show. When I came back 6 months later, they were like, yeah, we'll take you back. Like they were really, really easygoing and chill. Like they're very good people at CLNS Media Network or North Station Media, depending on who you are, who you talk to. They've got 2 names. I don't understand it. They're nice people, though. I trust them. Like I really do trust them, and I only work with people I trust. I'm very selective about the people I work with. Because they've got a big business with like a shit ton of podcasts. They were able to add me to their Megaphone account, which makes, dude, it's great. It's the easiest hosting platform you could ever have. It's so streamlined and beautiful and great. But Libsyn is a close second. I really like Libsyn. Justin, I would recommend that. There's all kinds of stories, man. Figuring out ads, figuring out really the big thing that no one talks about. I think it's not easy to do a podcast by yourself. Like people think, oh, you just sit down and talk. Go fuck yourself, man. It's a lot of preparation. Learning how to talk is another whole thing. Inflection, delivering a message, what kind of content. I mean, it's a lot of work. Justin, you got your work cut out for you. I'm not gonna lie. It's I've been doing this for 646 episodes. I've got a little bit of a role going. I'm very much experienced at doing this process. Not to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to be arrogant, nothing like that. I know what I'm doing. I've had lots of practice. The thing I'll say to you, Justin, is that I don't know how to help you. I just know that I had to learn through trial and error. And I think it's actually incredibly valuable because as you make mistakes, if you're self-aware and you learn from them, you're going to get better. And by doing things yourself, you're going to learn lessons you never thought you would. And the lessons for you are going to be different than they were for me because you're going to struggle with different things than I did. Yeah, I'm rooting for you, man. Good luck. And I hope that the learning process is one you can enjoy, not too steep and difficult. Ronnie writes in. Ronnie says, hey, Zach Attack. If Luffy were to play in the NFL, what position would you have him play? Personally, I have him playing wide receiver or corner or free safety because he would be snagging them interceptions or catches. Let's be clear. Ronnie, you didn't even say who Luffy was. Luffy is Monkey D. Luffy, the Straw Hat Pirate from One Piece, who is a character I have come to love through the Netflix show and now watching the anime. Luffy is a character with mystical powers, basically. He's basically, what's the character from Fantastic Four? He's Reed Richards. He's got stretchy powers. He's Mr. Elongate Man. He can stretch his arms out really, really far and all his limbs. To me, I hear what you're saying. You know, playing free safety or wide receiver, you can use that stretchy ability to go get the football. I don't know why you don't just start with him having the ball. You put him at quarterback. If you got that, if you're a superhuman and you can stretch like that, you snap the ball to Luffy at quarterback and he takes a giant step over everybody and he's got a touchdown. I mean, that, like, if he can stretch like that, that's what he should do. I honestly wonder if we had any like kind of mutant people, right, in our society. This is an insane thing to say, by the way. But if you were like Spider-Man, right, and you played in the NFL, would they make you like limit your powers? Would they ban you? Would they even allow you to play? Like, because it would be such an unfair advantage that it would be ridiculous and it would ruin the game probably. So I really wonder like how, like in the Marvel universe or something, right? Can superheroes not play football? And you know what I would do if I was Spider-Man? I'd play in the NFL, and I would just really tone down my powers and be like, oh, I'm really good, I'm really fast and strong, and I wouldn't like what if Christian McCaffrey's secretly a superhero and he just tones down his powers enough to not draw any suspicion? But like, why is Spider-Man poor? Why is he taking photos and delivering stuff on a bicycle? He's got superhero powers. He should do something
lucrative, where he can use his powers to make money and be a superhero. I don't know. I just always have thought that about superheroes. Like, why are they always poor and doing terrible jobs? Like, why can't they use their powers to succeed financially in life? Like, why can't they be like, there's a scene in Incredibles where Dash, the fast child, is running a race, and he could win easily, but he's like, his family's like, slow down, relax, like, keep your identity, don't go too fast, don't go too slow, and he like makes it so he barely wins. Like, tone down your powers, but use them for financial gain, dude, because the more money you have, the more peace you have, and the more ways you can help people, quite frankly. So, I don't know. Why can't Peter Parker be a running back in the NFL? He'd be great at it. And he could do it without like showing people his powers. I don't know. I've always thought that. Like, that's kind of a weird plot hole or something, whatever the right word is, in the superhero landscape. Here's a name I love. Deeply Closeted writes in and says, hi, Zach. And by the way, there's a great joke. Norm Macdonald went on Larry King one time and said, well, I'm a deeply closeted man. And then he goes, oh, so you're homosexual? He goes, no, I'm deeply closeted. And it's just a great bit where Norm Macdonald keeps like, he's like, I'm not telling you, he's just telling you he's deeply closeted. It's so funny to me. I really, I missed Norm. He was awesome. Deeply Closeted writes in and says, hi, Zach. Are you a fan of sports manga? If so, I'd recommend reading Ice Shield 21. It's about Japanese high school students playing football. It's not always realistic or accurate about the rules, but the story is compelling and the characters are endearing. And there's a ton of crazy trick plays. If that's not your thing, give Slam Dunk a try. It's a manga about basketball. Thanks. Deeply Closeted, I have never read... Is it manga? Manga? I've never read manga in my life. I think you have to read it backwards, by the way. Like right to left instead of left to right. I never have. I probably never will. I just don't... I've got so many things I'm interested in. Like, between sitting down to watch a movie, sitting down to work on videos, or play video games, or manga, I'm just never going to pick manga. I'm never going to pick that. Or even, frankly, reading books. I love books a lot. I would read books before I would read manga. So, it's not going to happen. I appreciate it, though. Thanks for the write-in. I'll watch a TV show, but I'm not going to... I'm just not going to do that. I just don't... I've got so many things, like... Do you understand how many video ideas I have in my head that until literally 2 days... I got a new job, so now I've got more time than ever. Until 2 days ago, I haven't had time to do anything I've wanted. I've been in survival mode for 2 years. And what that means is I've got a giant backlog of so many video ideas I want to make that I haven't had time to make that I think I might have time now to do. So I don't have free time. I'm busy for forever. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting energy into that, but I appreciate it. Thanks for writing. I love you. ETN writes in with a long one that I love, by the way. ETN says, hey, Zach, just listen to your segment about the Jets having hope. I myself am a Jets fan, and it is a kick in the balls to root for this team. I personally have lost all hope for the Jets with in the Robert Saleh era. You said in your segment you think Robert Saleh is a good head coach, and I disagree. Here's why. Here's why ETN thinks Robert Saleh is a bad coach. Last year when Aaron Rodgers went down, we got to see just how good the Jets coaches were. Were they good enough to overcome Aaron Rodgers going down? No. They were 4-3 heading into the bye week. And after the bye week, 4-7. In 2022, the Jets were 6-3 heading into the bye week, and they finished the year losing 7 of their last 8 to finish 7-10. In 2021, the team finished 3-8 after the bye week. That's 8-22 after the bye week during the Robert Saleh era. The Jets consistently collapse in the second half of the year, and that lies on coaching. Yes, he was given a bad hand in Zach Wilson, but he had Mike White. In 2022, who was actually the best quarterback play we've had since Josh McCown, which writing that was embarrassing to type, he says, which is hilarious and sad. ETN continues, as a Jets fan, I watch every game, and one thing about Robert Saleh is his team tends to get blown out or not put up a fight in must-win games and primetime moments. That's a sign of getting out-coached. He can develop defensive players, yes, and he's a player's coach. He doesn't call defensive plays, though. But how about wins? Robert Saleh doesn't win enough and loses constantly in must-win games. Not to mention, he fails to hold people accountable. Nathaniel Hackett, where is the accountability for the second year in a row where he commanded the worst offense in football? A good coach cares about his players and their opinions, such as Aaron Rodgers' belief in Hackett, but draws the line when it comes to winning. Robert Saleh refuses to do anything about the offense, and probably the reason why the Jets' offense has been awful in 2022 and 2023, despite different coordinators and quarterbacks. So, the coach is bad. If only there were a reason we're excited. If the only reason we're excited and optimistic about the Jets is because Aaron Rodgers is coming back, then it means we believe Aaron Rodgers is the only thing that can overcome poor coaching. This is why I don't have hope either. Last year I did. He did have hope. Last year I had hope, and it was the most exciting time to be a Jets fan ever. My heart felt like it was shattered in a million pieces the second Aaron Rodgers went down. I lost all true hope in the Rodgers era, and Aaron Rodgers is my favorite player of all time. If that doesn't speak anything about this, then I don't know what does. I do hope the Jets surprise me this year. They do have a championship caliber defense, but the offense, it is so bad. And the coaching, except for the defensive coordinator, is awful. I do love the Jets defensive coordinator. He went to Hawaii. We love him. Played linebacker, University of Hawaii. He's awesome. Robert Saleh. Let's talk about him for a second. I think it's a worthy conversation. When I say so, I think my impression of Robert Saleh is he's an awesome guy who I would like to play for. Like, he's an honorable, cool dude. He also made a deal with the devil. When you bring in a 40-year-old quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to get whatever he wants. And Aaron really wants to play for Nathaniel Hackett. Is Nathaniel Hackett a good offensive coordinator? Fuck no. No. Is Nathaniel Hackett who Robert Saleh would ever want to hire as offensive coordinator? No, I don't think so. He's only there because he's Aaron Rodgers' guy. Let's be very clear. Robert Saleh chose him because that's what Aaron wanted. And when you have Aaron, you do what Aaron says because that's the deal. I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe Robert Saleh is just meant to be a defensive coordinator. Maybe that's what he should do. But I'm acknowledging, right? I might be wrong. Maybe Robert Saleh's not a good coach. I hear everything you said. You're probably right, honestly. I'm pulled towards liking him because I like him as a person. And that's not probably good analysis, quite frankly. But I would run through a brick wall for Robert Saleh. I love him. He's an honorable leader. He's a good guy. I would love to play for him. And so maybe I let my emotions get the best of me and really, inform what I think of him. But let's also be clear. Robert Saleh has never had a quarterback. Never. In his entire time as a Jets head coach. And it's hard to have hope and believe in your team, and especially late in the year, when your quarterback situation is a disaster every single year. I don't know, man. I think that this year is the moment of truth, really. If the Jets are really good, the defense is good, they're well managed, and Aaron Rodgers is good, then I think we can really confidently say, look, Robert Saleh is a good coach that never had a good quarterback. But if they're terrible again, then yeah, sure, I'll agree with you. But for now, I just think the jury's not out yet. We still got, or maybe the jury is still, I don't actually know the right way to say that. I guess I've never thought about it before. I think a jury's out would mean that they're out of the room deliberating. So right now, we're still having a conversation. How good is Robert Saleh? We're going to find out this year definitively, once and for all. And have an open mind. I'm hopeful, but I'm not confident either. I understand everything you're saying. I just want to see how it plays out before we crucify the guy. Let's give him a chance with a quarterback. And if he does a terrible job with a real good quarterback, then I will be happily say it doesn't work. He's not a good coach. Man, I'm getting tired. It is 5:30 in the morning. I did sleep, by the way. I went to bed at 8 o'clock last night because I am an old man, and I woke up at 3 and was like, well, I'm awake. Let's do a podcast. That's really like exactly what happened. Noah writes in. Noah says, hey, HVAC Zach, I just wanted to update you on some good animes you can watch, along with a review of a motto I live by. One Piece is a great anime to get into, but good luck, because it's going to be a commitment to make. It's a massive, long show, is my thought on that. But if you wanted some other shows to watch, which I highly recommend, here are 3 of my favorite animes. Remember, I'm getting into anime for the first time basically ever. We've talked about it on the show. Now, you guys are writing in about manga and anime, and I'm look, more anime talk than I thought I would ever talk about, but I'm open to it. I think it's fun. I like it. So, here's a word I don't know how to pronounce at all. I'm not going to lie. But he says the first anime he recommends is Jujutsu Kaisen. JJK. No idea how to say that. Doing my best. Noah says, I shamelessly say this is my favorite anime. Some of the greatest fights in animations ever, with some lighthearted moments. Okay, look, here's what I don't care about. Fight scenes. I do not care at all. I find fight scenes really boring, actually. I'm here for the story. I'm here for the conversation. I'm here for the character development. The fight scenes, I want to know the outcome, but I often am waiting. They're like, can we just figure out the what happens in the fight? Like, what's the outcome of the fight? That's what I want to know. I don't need to watch fake made-up drawn characters punch each other back and forth for a long time. It's like I'm bored. I want to see the outcome. I don't care about the whole fight thing. Some of the fight scenes in anime, like you mentioned next, Attack on Titan. And let me just read it. He says, number 2 is Attack on Titan, regarded as one of the best animes ever. Has everything you'd want in a show. Great fights, great characters, an amazing first episode, and a crazy plot twist. It's a great show, not just anime. I love Attack on Titan. Now, since I last watched Attack on Titan, I watched the end of the show, and then they said, you know what? We've actually gotten more, and they've done like that twice now, so there's more Attack on Titan I haven't watched. I got to get to it at some point. But Attack on Titan, what they do with their fight scenes is there's character development during the fight scenes. There are moments where big story beats happen during fights, where characters get confidence and grow and deal with personal struggles. So that's a kind of fight scene that I see value in. But a lot of fight scenes in media they're just boring and filler. I'm like, I don't want to just watch people punch each other, and I'm not interested in that. I want to watch character development. So if there's not that, I don't care. Fine. And by the way, Attack on Titan, whether you like anime or not, I agree. It's not an anime. It's a great show. It's a great TV show. It's really a horrifying good story. It's unsettling, but good. It's about, my camera just shut off. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know what to do with that. I'm back. I'm recording. What I'll do, I guess, I'm recording with 2 settings, so I can just switch back and forth freely between the video on my Zencastr and my camera. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the third anime you write in with, Noah says, the Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga. It's a show about Vikings based on real historical figures. Insanely great story and characters. Interesting. Now, here's the one I recommend to you, though, Noah continues. My Hero Academia. Since you're a guy about triumph, friendship, and world building, I think My Hero Academia provides all of those things. It's about a person who doesn't have superpowers called quirks in a world where everyone has one until he gains the greatest quirk from the number one hero. Highly recommend that for you. Now, this is my motto. The only person you can change is yourself. I can influence someone to change, but at the end of the day, the change has to come from within. With the person having to be actively wanting to do something different or better. Let me hear your thoughts about all that I just said. I just vomited here, and if you want more animes or shows, let me know. Thanks for looking at this with your eyeballs and not someone else's. I hope you're having a great start to the summer, Noah. That's funny. I like that. Not someone else's is a hilarious way to end that. Let's talk about your motto. I don't know why that's your motto, because my motto, like that, I guess that's an interesting motto, but it's a lot about other people, which is interesting. Like my motto, I guess the words I live by are the 2 things that You can always control your attitude and your effort. I talk about that all the time. That really matters to me. Attitude and effort are the two things you can always control. Words I live by, right? Like, I'm house sitting, right? I fucking hate this house. It's dark. The shower sucks. It's got cat hair everywhere. It's got dog hair everywhere. I don't like it. I want to be home. However, I can choose to make it a good thing or a bad thing. I've got alone time. It's nice. I've been watching, what have I been watching? I watched Godzilla -1 last night. Had a nice little time by myself. I'm chilling. I'm trying to enjoy this time, even though it's not where I want to be. I can always choose to have a good attitude and give good effort, no matter what you're doing in life. Your motto's interesting, though. I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. Again, the only person you can change is yourself. Yeah. I dated someone once. In fact, I was engaged to someone once who I thought needed to make a lot of changes, and they didn't do anything. Even my ex-girlfriend, after her, the next girlfriend, like, in fact, here's what I've learned. If you're dating someone, they need to make significant changes in order for you to commit to them or be happy with them, walk away. You shouldn't date someone for who you think they could be. You date someone for who they are now, and if they get better, great. But my girlfriend now, nothing about her could ever change, and I'd be totally happy. If she gets better, like she's always like, she's like, how do I say this? She wants to cut weight a little bit, right? And I look at her, I'm like, you're the most beautiful person alive. You want to get more beautiful? Like, sure. Like, fine with me. And she has old pictures. She's like, look, I used to have abs. I'm like, I don't care about your abs at all. But if you want them, great. I'll be happy. It's fine. But my point is, like, if you're waiting for someone to change, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that at all. And it's true. And if someone's going to make a change, it's got to be their decision. Right. There's my favorite book in the world that's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's my favorite book. I've read it 6 times. It's really, really helped me and changed my life. It's a great book. You should read it. But people ask me sometimes, like, can I borrow that book from you? I'm like, no, you can't actually. If you want to make the changes in that book, you should buy it yourself and commit to it yourself. You should choose that. I want you to buy in a little bit. I'm not going to let you borrow my book for free. Then you're not going to be as invested in the whole thing. It's like $15. Buy the fucking book. It's probably less than that. Let's see. Let's look at Amazon. How much is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck? It's a great book. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck book. The book is, I bet it's $12.99. Okay, it is $10 paperback on Amazon Prime. $10. So I'm not going to let you borrow my fucking book. Buy it for $10. And no, maybe that's actually looks like the Indian version. So I have no idea. It's I really can't figure out how to buy it actually. The audiobook, the paperback book, I think it's $10 because you can buy a 2-pack of Everything is Fucked and The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Both books are great, by the way, for $20. So for about $10, you can get the best book I've ever read in my entire life. But look, I'm not going to force you to read it. I'm not going to let you borrow it. If you want to read it, buy it and read it. It's going to change your life. It's such a good book. Some people don't need it. Like my girlfriend doesn't need it. She'll read it because she enjoys it, I think. But like, not everyone needs it. But if you don't have your shit together, which most men do not, like, let's be clear. Us men, we got to step it up. Even like Darren Waller's out there cheating on women and like losing his wife. I mean, as men, I think in society, period, we got to do a better job. We are not doing a great job in society, in my opinion. Like, I don't speak for women. I speak for men. And I think, man, I look around at other guys my age and I'm like, guys, we have to do better. The standards are so low. We got to treat people better. We got to be more compassionate, more kind, more aware of ourselves. All these traits that I really value. I don't see them in very many men around me, and it's very disappointing. Read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. No, you can't borrow it. Buy it yourself and invest in that and get something out of it because it'll change your life, in my opinion. So, long story short, Noah, I totally agree with you. Kenny writes in with a horrifying write-in. Kenny says, hey, Zaddy, which I hate, but whatever. So this question is a little bit different than the ones I normally ask, but if you had to rank your local gas stations, how would you rank them? I ranked mine on quality, cleanliness, and amenities. In the 405, Oklahoma City, we have On-Q's, 7-Elevens, Carries, and family-owned stores. I would rank my local gas stations as number 1, On-Q, number 2, 7-Eleven, number 3, Casey's, and number 4, family-owned gas stations. On-Q is number 1 because I think they have like 1/4 of a Buc-ee's, Texas. I think they're like 1/4 of what Buc-ee's brings to the table, and they are numerous and have good amenities, drinks and a grill. The grill is fresh, and I learned that because I was in a rush once and ordered food but didn't know it was fresh, so it took a long time. It was hard ranking 7-Eleven because it has good drinks, and the new ones have taco restaurants inside. But it's not number 1 because I feel like it is always dirty. There's a couple of other things I can say about this, but it'll be too long. Plus side, they always have Arizona green tea. Casey's is the number 1 up-and-coming gas station in my area. One thing that is holding it back is the cleanliness. I feel like it is always dirty and the restrooms are filthy. The food selection is subpar, not my go-to place. They do always have pizza on hand, though. Not Little Caesars good, but more like Domino's level. Yuck. Lastly, the family-owned ones are a hit or miss. Every time I walk in one, I pull out the card reader to make sure it's not got a skimmer. They're just overall dirty, but I will say the candy selection is top tier. They will always have Mexican or just obscure candy in their aisles. Thank you, Kenny. P.S. Little Caesars is the best pizza franchise. If you disagree, you can fight me. What the fuck, Kenny? Kenny, we got to fight. What? What are you talking about? Let me read this one more time. Guys, Kenny, you're insane. Kenny says, Little Caesars is the best pizza franchise. If you disagree, you can fight me. It hurts my soul. It hurts my soul. What in the Oklahoma is going on out there? Let me be clear about this. I like Little Caesars. I'm embarrassed to say that, but I do. I like their brownies. They got this like weird brownies that like I think you're supposed to cook them. I never do. I just eat them raw. Like they're good. I don't really know. I don't ask questions. I just eat them. They're cold. They're yummy. I'm happy. Guys, Little Caesars isn't pizza. Like, I like Little Caesars, and it's cheesy bread or something. There's something going on there that's pizza like imitation pizza. But I can't even call Little Caesars like a pizza place. It's its own thing. Like whenever I think, hey, I want pizza, I never think I want Little Caesars. I think about pizza. The only time I want Little Caesars is when I go, I want Little Caesars. Specifically, I want the experience that Little Caesars brings to the table. The cheap garbage with the brownie thing. Like, you know, does that make sense? Am I making sense here? Like, no one ever goes, I want pizza, therefore I want Little Caesars. You go, I'm specifically craving the experience that is Little Caesars. The weird, awful, but enjoyable thing that it is. Does that make sense? Like a couple days ago, I guess no, it's been a month. It's been 5 months. It's been a long time, actually. It's been a long fucking time. My best friend, Sean, I've got a couple best friends. I can't rank them. They're just all my best friend. I don't really care. My best friend, Sean, went through a breakup in January. His ex-girlfriend was awful. She can go fuck herself. I hated her so much. She was the worst. It's so liberating to... You guys know, you ever been able to say that about one of your friend's exes? You're like, God, she sucked. She didn't appreciate my friend at all. It pissed me off. Anyway, she dumped Sean. And I was like, you know what, Sean? You want to have Little Caesars? And we did. I brought him a Little Caesar. We each had our own Little Caesars personal pizza. We had the brownies I talked about. And we had the best time. We watched Seinfeld. We hung out. We just had like a bro night together. It was really good. But again, I didn't say, hey, do you want pizza? I said, hey, Sean, do you want Little Caesars? Because it's its own thing. I don't think, we went way off the rails here, but you can't call Little Caesars pizza, in my opinion. It's blasphemous, but it is good, even though it's garbage. Ranking gas stations, I don't know. Pilot's pretty great. I love Love's. They're like, I like the big truck stop ones. Like I lived in my truck for 8 months. I drove around the country. I like the truck stop gas stations, the one that are massive and have like restaurants in there and are like showers. I really like that. So Love's and Pilot are my two favorites. 7-Eleven's pretty good. After that, I don't even... there's a good one. Let me find it. There's a good one in Arizona I really liked. Let me find this. For you Arizona people, you'll know. When I was in Arizona, it's definitely saved in my My Google Maps is monumentally huge. It's actually like, it's psychotic how many places I have saved in my Google Maps. Let's see if I can find, where's my Phoenix section? Can I find it? Maybe not. Damn, I don't see it. Let me just go to my maps. We'll go to Arizona, see what happens. Arizona. In Arizona, yeah, there's a bunch of gas stations. So it's all in my save for later places. Let's just pick a thing. Camelback Hike, Lamar Road, Chinese Place. One of these is a gas station chain that I just absolutely fucking love. And I'm gonna commit to finding it because why not? Let's do it. Quick Trip, dude. Quick Trip. Look, I prefer Love's or Pilot, these massive truck stoppy gas stations. But as far as like an in-town gas station, Quick Trip was amazing. I loved it. They sold water by, like, you could fill up your gallon jugs for a guy camping in his truck basically full time at that point. Loved it. I was homeless and it was great. Like, Quick Trip is great. I will say though, we got to have a conversation about gas stations because this is a sports podcast, believe it or not, somehow, kind of. Not this episode, apparently, but at some point we talk about sports. You're here because you like me for this one. Like I'm house sitting. I have none of my stuff. I'm tired as hell. I started a new job this week. I haven't been home in over 2 weeks. We're talking about life and enjoying this. For some of you, though, I know this will probably be your favorite Strong Opinion Sports episode ever, and then some of you are going to hate it. It's going to be very divisive, and I apologize for whatever that is. We got to stop buying food at gas stations, you guys. It's so ineffective cost-wise. It's such a expensive thing that adds up so quickly. Look at me, guys. You got to check your bank statements, and you got to stop the bad spending. I'm getting like really into money as far as like I'm very frugal. I'm very careful with my money. I'm actually very stingy in like a healthy way. I don't eat out almost ever. And when I do, it's very intentional. For example, today I went to a bar with my friends. Actually, it was free though. I didn't spend any money because I ordered sparkling water with lime and bitters, which bars never charge you for that. So I've been going to bars for free a ton recently. Anyway, I went to Salt and Straw after that. And I bought my friend Sean ice cream because he's like, he already had gotten something. I was like, I haven't paid any money tonight. I'll pay for something, whatever. So when I do, it's like an intentional, deliberate thing. But guys, when you're driving around, the $6 a pop at the gas station on like a little snack here and there, it's terrible for you. The food at gas stations is not good for you at all. But also those little costs, it's so easy to spend $6 a day or something like that at a gas station. And with inflation, it's becoming more like 10 to 11. Guys, we got it. The gas station spending it's a terrible, what's the word here? You never win. Like it's a bad it's a terrible proposition. That's the word for you. Make food at home, meal prep, drink water, not soda. Like, we got to take better care of ourselves. We got to eat good. We got to we got to be careful with our money. Like, it's insane. Like, the economy is insane out there, guys. We got to be smart with our money. So all I'm saying here, next time you go to a gas station, really think about what you're getting, the quality of the food, how bad it is for you, and the price. Like how much you're getting for the price. It's so much cheaper to make food at home and bring it with you. And I know that the thing about gas station food is it's quick and easy. But there are snacks you can buy or even make that are easy, and quick. So I started making my own fruit leather, actually, believe it or not. It's kind of an annoying process, but once you do it a couple times, you get good at it. But part of why I was going to gas stations so much is because I wanted food that could have immediately, literally not even like our sponsor Factor, right? Not even heated up. Like, I'm in my car and I can just pull it out. And it's not going to spoil. It's ready to go. And so I started making my own fruit leather. And that's been cheap, yummy, good, and easy. Can't recommend enough. Fruit leather, beef jerky. Like, these are things you can do that are easy. They don't go bad in your car. And they're going to save you a ton of money. And look, the little purchases like that at gas stations, they add up so quickly, man. And it really does. If you look through your bank statements, I looked through my bank statements and I was like, fuck, I'm spending way too much money at gas stations buying really stupid stuff. Okay. Jake writes in. Jake says, "What's up, Zach Black? I hope you enjoyed banging in the woods with your boys. I didn't know you swung that way, but you do you, man. No, I was shooting guns, you motherfucker." Dude, I for Memorial Day, me and my friends went in the woods and we shot guns. Now, you can say that on YouTube, but within the first 2 minutes on YouTube, you can't talk about that because you get demonetized and have all these problems and they shadow ban you. Like, I think I'm shadow banned anyway, honestly. But yeah, I went in the woods and I shot guns and it was very fun. That's what we did. I couldn't say that on the YouTube video because I knew within the first 2 minutes of that, you get in trouble. And I was like, I don't want to deal with YouTube today. So anyway, I haven't heard you talk about it yet, but have you watched the show The Dynasty on Apple TV yet? It's a 10-episode documentary series that covers the entirety of the Patriots dynasty. From Brady being drafted to Brady and Belichick's divorce, it's got tons of behind-the-scenes footage and info from throughout the years, including but not limited to film room footage, more info on Deflategate, Spygate, and even an answer on what actually went down with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's really good, so I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. So just in case, I'm putting my question in the comment section of this comment. P.S. Yeah, we know the Giants suck. Don't worry, not a single fan I know would disagree with you. But I'm still going to whine in the group chat when we lose. I have not watched that series yet at all. And maybe I should. Maybe that's an interesting... You know what, guys? That would be a really fun... I was so... Strong Opinion Sports is a podcast, right? I sit down, I talk for like an hour and a half, whatever it is. I want to make more standalone YouTube videos. So I want to both be a podcast and a YouTube channel and do things that are... Sometimes there are going to be things that are on the YouTube channel and not on the podcast. This idea, covering the dynasty, where I watch it and make a video about it, that would be a really good standalone video where I could like use B-roll from the show and whatever. Let's just commit to that. I need to watch it. I'm going to wait till I move into my new apartment. So 6 days from now is when the clock is going to begin on that process. I would love to watch the dynasty and cover it. I love Tom Brady. I love Bill Belichick. I really enjoyed that era of the Patriots. Yeah, if I can figure, what I want to do is use the footage from that show. I don't care if it's monetized or not. I just want to I want to be able to talk about the show and show you the show as I'm talking about it. So once I can figure out how to do that, which I think on Apple TV, you can actually just download the shows like pretty easily. So let's say I want to make a video soon about the dynasty on Apple TV, and that'd be really cool and really fun. And I think, Jake, I don't know if you meant to do that, but let's definitely cover that in its own video. I love that idea. All right. We have so many more write-ins. It's crazy. It's a lot. And some, I think I might even save some for next week just because I need content for next week and I have no idea what I'm going to talk about yet. Gabriel writes in, says, best Eminem impression. Look who's back. HVAC Zach on the track. I can't continue, but he's, look who's back. HVAC Zach on the track. He's moving back to the bedroom he lacked to get his studio back. Oh, shoot. That's cool. Anyway, let me try that one more time. Look who's back, HVAC Zach. On the track, he's moving back to the bedroom he lacked to get his studio back. Look, someone who can actually rap. I was just saying words. I wasn't rapping. Let's be very clear. I have the humility to say that was terrible. Don't listen to me. That's very well written. I really like the flow of that. And if I was any talented kind of rapper at all, like I can barely rap songs I know. So don't ask me to rap at all. But anyway, I really like that. Anyway, assuming you were able to tolerate that horrific and intrusive thought turned right in. I wanted to say thank you for introducing me to Bonobo. Their song El Toro has been such a revelation to me lately. You said to write in about life, so I should mention that I might be getting a house soon. There are no guarantees, but after a frankly hellish couple of years of bouncing around with a sick partner and addiction struggles, my life is finally starting to grow into something I really feel proud of. I still remember going on walks in the summer of 2022 to get out of the Airbnb I was living in and listening to Zach Schaumler talking. It really helped me keep my head in a better place back then. No questions this time. That's all I've got. So thanks for your eyeballs. Gabriel, I didn't even vet that question. I didn't know what you were going to write. That's amazing. I'm really happy for you, man. As a guy myself who's been through a lot of struggles that I didn't prepare for, didn't plan for, and didn't want. I'm so happy for you. You're crushing it in life. You're getting a house soon. What do you do for work? I mean, I can't even afford a house. That's awesome. I'm very happy. Maybe you live in a different part of the country too. I live in a very expensive part of the country. I'm so happy for you, man. Regardless of anything else, man, the house, whatever. It's just cool to hear of someone getting their life together after going through some tough stuff, because I've done that journey myself, and I'm still on that journey, quite frankly. And it's difficult, it's important, and Gabriel, write into me, man. I'm rooting for you a lot. I think you're the same Gabriel who lives in Seattle. So I don't know what your story is, man, but I'd love to hear it, and I'm very happy for you. I'm happy to hear that. I love you so much. I'm rooting for you. That's very cool. Just thanks for the write-in. Thanks for telling me that. Thanks for sharing that news. And I'm glad you like Bonobo. And I feel the same way, by the way, about my life. I'm very proud of what I'm doing and my approach to it. And I love sales. I just I feel like I'm growing up, and it's cool. And I just want to share in that feeling of like, yeah, that's awesome. I don't mean to talk about me. I just mean like, I can relate to that feeling of like, yeah, I feel good about what I'm doing for the first time in a long time, which is weird because I was once a full-time YouTuber and I didn't feel good about myself back then, which is crazy. So that to have peace of mind and feel like you're doing the right stuff is huge. And Gabriel, great job, man. I'm so happy for you. Keep me in the loop. I want to know. If you are in Seattle, by the way, we should meet still. I would love to. One of my best friends in the world, Austin, lives in Seattle. And my mom lives in Seattle, so I'm up there all the time. And I'd love to meet you and hear your story in person. That'd be very cool. And actually, dude, you say you like Zach Schaumler talking. How about you come on Zach Schaumler talking and you tell that story? Do you want to do that? I need a week. And 6 days I move into my new apartment, and I'll have time and space finally to be really creative. And I would love to interview you about that journey, about this write-in specifically. It'd be very cool. Let me text this to myself so I don't lose it. Gabriel, I want to hear from you. I want to interview you. I want to know more about your life, more about your story, because that's a very compelling write-in, and I'm really happy for you, man. That's awesome. And well done. And anyone out there, if you're in the process of getting your shit together, trust me, I can relate. Trust me. I've been a mess at times. I've been a disaster, and I've been working really hard to get my act together and get out of debt and do all kinds of stuff. And I just really, my heart's out for you. I'm rooting for you in life. Like, seriously. I know how hard it can be to grow up, quite frankly, and to heal yourself and go through tough things and figure out your career. And I hope everyone's doing well. I'm rooting for you a lot. And Gabriel, great job. Maybe two more. No. I'm going to do one more. Reefer Madness wrote in a write-in that I'm not going to read because Reefer Madness could be an entire episode. This question is fantastic. Reefer Madness, you know what? You wrote in about the Super Bowl. And I actually, now that I think about it, when I was in Hawaii, I was sitting on the beach reading Patreon questions, and I read your question and I wrote about it. I wrote like 5 pages about it. Me and my girlfriend were talking about your question. And so I think your write-in is going to be an entire podcast. So Reefer, next week, I think, I guess maybe Thursday, which is not very far from now, I'm going to do an entire episode about your write-in, which is awesome. So thank you for writing in, Reefer. I'm not going to read it today, but I'll read it next episode and probably do 30 minutes about your write-in. Anyway, final question of the day today. It is a football question, thankfully. Luke says, "Hello, Zach. Enjoy your podcast even when filmed outside of Walmart." Thank you, by the way. I had a great time doing that. I really liked, I loved recording in the truck. I thought it was fun. I really liked it. I'm sad more people didn't like it, but I'm glad you did. Luke says, "I'm a Miami Dolphins fan from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Think Snow Cowboys. Recently, my Edmonton Hockey Club made it to the conference final for the second time this half decade, which is insane since they had followed the same path as the Raiders franchise. This consistent success made me optimistic, but there's a lot of pressure to win now while all the pieces are together. I was a fan. I as a fan, don't want to be the doormat of the league for the next 10 years again and want sustained winning like Pittsburgh, the Steelers. Is it wrong to think I'd be more satisfied as a fan with a consistent contender every 3 years than a winner every 10? Thank you, eyeballs. No, it made sense. I think that, look, championships are great. They really are. I mean, I say that as someone I don't have a favorite team, so I've never seen a favorite team win a championship, but I love Tom Brady and I watched him win a couple championships in my life. And so it's cool when the people or the team you're rooting for wins a title. It's very fun. But I would think if I'm a fan of any team, I would just want to be consistently competitive so that like we have a shot every year and I have hope and interest, and it's not, 3 quarters into the year and the year's over and I don't care. I mean, that really was matter. I just would want a team that's competitive every year. So I think you're not crazy at all. It makes sense to want to sustain a successful team that's a consistent contender maybe every 3 years. That makes sense to me. And I think you're not out of pocket at all. In fact, I think it makes a lot of sense, and I totally understand that sentiment, and I think you're kind of valid for that, man. I would want a team that can win. I was once a Mariners fan, right? And I just got so tired of investing in this team that never gave me anything back. They made terrible moves, and they were fucking awful. It was not fun. Like rooting for and watching a team that's awful sucks. It's not a good experience. And so I understand, man. I totally get that, Luke. You're not wrong. You're not crazy. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I get it. Wow, guys, we still have so many write-ins. I'm going to end the show here. We're well over an hour and a half in. In like 4 days, I'm recording another episode. I have 2 ideas to talk about. So, and then Patreon questions. So we're already full, basically. So, guys, I'm going to end it here. I want to save some for next time. I'll still put another post, a thread on Patreon. Keep writing in questions. I can never have too many, but right now I do kind of have too many. So, but it's good. Please just keep writing it. And I really, really like the questions about life. That's what I like talking about outside of football. So, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great day. And bam, we are done.